talking about movies. Johnny just saw a new movie. He saw a movie called Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. And what did you think about that movie?
I thought it was great. It's a great Canadian film, like maybe the greatest Canadian film since 49th Parallel.
Wow. Even better than everything that David Cronenberg's ever made?
I thought about that, and David Cronenberg is great, but there's nothing really inherently
Canadian?
like. I mean, both of those movies, Nirvana the band and 49th Parallel, are specifically Canadian movies. Like the 49th Parallel takes place across, like it's basically a Canadian travel log specific to Canada. This one, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie is specifically Toronto and all the sort of Toronto landmarks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was terrific. It's a great movie.
Yeah. The guy who made it, by the way, you're frozen over here. Oh, no, you just came back. The guy who made that movie, I believe his name is Matt Johnson.
That's right.
Do you know him?
No.
Okay. I think last year or maybe the year before. Yeah, I think 2024. We were both on the panel to judge the films at Fantasia. So so we spent time together to decide. Like me and like maybe 8 other people spent time together judging, figuring out which films were going to win the Cheval Noir and other awards at Fantasia in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very diplomatic. I noticed that right from the get-go. Maybe diplomatic is the wrong word. Like he's ultimately the goal that he had was to sort of he really wanted this one film. I think it was the French The Count of Monte Cristo to win the Cheval Noir, the top award, the best film award.
Okay.
And and he really, I just kind of watched him kind of, make that happen for himself just through just being compelling and being a good orator. And I was like, this guy's not bad. I wanted this other film to win called, it was a Kazakhstan film. It was called Steppenwolf. It was called Steppenwolf. I wanted that film to win. It was like a Kazakhstani film. Just because I thought that the French one, the Count of Monte Cristo, was like just the Count of Monte Cristo, but sort of retold in French in the language of like a Marvel movie or something, or like just sort of a modern action movie. And I was like, this is sort of boring, and it's definitely way bigger and more like every other film up for the award was like, a $2 million or less film. And meanwhile, the French film was like this, 40
big budget.
Yeah. Like $45 million film. And I was just like, well, that's not fair. And I guess in a sense you could say, okay, well, let's just give it to this film because it's the most like a film, like the most like the biggest budget film. So, okay, I guess that means you win. Bigger is better.
Mm-hmm.
But I found it to be pretty boring. And to be honest, I didn't really watch it. Like I found myself drifting when I was watching it because I didn't care that much. Whereas like there were other films that I thought were better. Anyways, I don't want to tell the whole story. Like I ended up getting into sort of like an argument, not with him, but with this other woman about, because in that film Steppenwolf, there's a lot of like, the main character like beats up this woman a lot. Like basically it's these two people and they're going across this wasteland to rescue this woman's kid. And, he's sort of this mercenary guy and he slaps her around a lot. And she just thought that this was disgusting and we can't give the award to this movie. And you know what? It's not even interesting. It's actually boring. Like, just every fucking, like as soon as you corner her in one thing, she would pivot and then all of a sudden, oh, it's not because it's disgusting. It's actually because it's boring. Oh, it's not because it's boring. It's actually,
well, sorry to interrupt, but that as someone who makes, I guess, transgressive art.
Bad boy.
I always find that to be the go-to criticism across the board is when you're being criticized. The critic always comes at you from the same place, which is, look, I like lots of offensive stuff. This movie didn't offend me, or this book didn't offend me. I'm not easily offended. And then they give you a couple examples, like, I like this,
Yeah.
and I like this, and I like this, but this was boring. This person is boring. Their movie is boring. Their book is boring. It just didn't, and that always tells me that this person clearly was offended. I mean, it's the same thing as if somebody's like, if they want to claim that they're not racist, they're like, oh, I have lots of black friends. And that's their weak defense. It's just a very, it's a bullshit defense, and they just use it to sort of mask their being offended.
Yeah, man. He who smelt it dealt it. But anyways, like ultimately all I wanted to say is that, like, what I gleaned from Matt Johnson, and he kind of was neither for or against it. Like he had his sights set on the Cheval Noir, the top award, and everything else he was flexible on, but he really just was like, okay, well, I really think this film should win, and he kind of just sort of made it happen. And what I gleaned from my brief time sort of spent like at a jury's lunch with him was that he's really good at just kind of getting everything going his way, and kind of getting everyone to sort of agree with his idea, like to sort of corral everyone. And and I mean, I was just like, damn, this guy has qualities to be a really great director, to lead with love rather than to lead like I don't know, like a Frankenheimer or something, who just leads with fear, or like a Friedkin who leads with firing starter's pistols into Jason Miller's ears, But in any case, yeah, I mean, I think that he's very talented and very, very good. And yeah, like I look at the film and I look at the trailers and stuff, and I'm just like, I know that I would like this. I know that this would be something that I like. However, I can't see it because the movie is too small in terms of release for anyone to bother pirating it, and there's no way that anyone's gonna get the license, or the what do you call it? Oh my God, why can't I speak? No one's gonna get the rights to show it in Taiwan, like in theaters. I don't know why I can't think of that word. Not the distribution rights, but who cares? It's like, it'll come to me later. Anyways, so what the fuck? What are we doing? We're gonna talk about. Oh yeah, you know what I saw? I saw a new movie too. I saw a movie called Send Help, the Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah,
and it's not very good. And it's like a $40 million. I think it's a $40 million movie. And I don't know what could have possibly cost $40 million to make that movie.
Does it have like a big celebrity in it?
It has Rachel McAdams, who's also Canadian. And, excuse me, let's take a look at the Wikipedia here. Send Help, 2006. 2006 survival horror thriller film. Already, that's not right. It's a comedy. It's very clearly a comedy. Yeah, $40 million. What the fuck? Where does all that money go? It's two people crashing on an island and then having to survive on this island. And, but it's like, the way that it works is, they kind of frame it originally with sort of this corporate structure where it's, where Rachel McAdams plays like this sort of low level, pencil pusher at some company. And then there's this like, nepotism kind of vice president or president. After the big boss leaves, he just lets his son take over the company. He's just this kind of like shitty, rich, spoiled, cruel asshole who takes a lot of pleasure in being cruel to this woman, to Rachel McAdams. And then she does something to sort of be like, okay, you're all right, like, why don't you come with us to Thailand because we're closing this deal. So they go take this plane, a private plane to Thailand, and then on the plane this is very clumsy too. He shows like a tape of her or a whatever, like just an audition video of her applying for Survivor. And it's her, and it's very embarrassing for her because she's like, look, I can make fucking a fire or whatever, no, like all this stuff. And she just looks like a complete, like, cringy retard. And everyone on the plane is laughing, ha ha ha, what a dummy, But it also serves to show, oh, she has survival skills, It's like, wow, what a great double-edged sword. Then, of course, the plane has a malfunction and it crashes, and everyone dies except for, well, at that point we think everyone dies except for the boss guy and Rachel McAdams. Then
Okay.
then they, turns out that she's like really good at surviving and he doesn't know how to do anything. Plus he's broken his leg. So it's very much like Triangle of Sadness, where it's like, oh, the tables have turned.
Or Swept Away.
When did that come out, Swept Away?
Well, the original one I think is from the 70s with Giancarlo. It's an Italian movie.
Mm-hmm.
Giannini.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie, I guess I didn't really like it all that much. I found the woman like, it's like I understand that the woman is supposed to be like really obnoxious and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
To sort of like when the tables turn, it kind of feels satisfying. But she was so annoying that I was just like, I don't even want this guy to fuck her. She's too annoying.
I don't want anyone to fuck her.
And then I think they made a remake with Madonna
Mm-hmm.
later on. I don't remember who the guy was. But it's still that same. And then I think there was also like an Oliver Reed movie where it was sort of similar, where it's just sort of like the bum and the beautiful lady stuck on an island.
Mm. Well, anyways, this film goes on as you would expect it to, where she all of a sudden is like there's elements of like misery in it a little bit as well, where it's like she's he starts to be kind of like I don't need your help, or like like fuck off, like I'm not gonna be nice to you even though this is the situation. I'm gonna stay mean to you because I can't give up my sort of dominant position. So then she like abandons him for like 48 hours and he's like dying of thirst. And then, then when she comes back, he's like, oh, okay, please. She plays sort of like psychological kind of, like games with him to kind of break him down.
Right.
And then anyway, the whole thing really does play out like a comedy. Also, I'm kind of getting, to be honest, like I love a lot of old Sam Raimi films. Like, I mean, I even like The Quick and the Dead. I like Drag Me to Hell. Like there's a lot of like Sam Raimi stays relevant and impressive to me very late into his career, and but this one, like especially like this one and also that Doctor Strange movie that he directed, I found to be like the way that they sort of used the.
Which Doctor Strange movie did he make? The first one?
No, the other one, the Multiverse of Madness, the second one, I think.
I don't think I saw that one. Well,
anyhow, the just the
checked out
the whole the Sam Raimi isms of like, like snap zooming on something and like just like that, all that stuff. It just feels like it just doesn't feel off the cuff anymore. And also just because these movies are shot with these like gorgeous, like 8K high dynamic range cameras. I don't know. It just feels weird. It feels like it doesn't feel as I don't even know how to say it. Like it doesn't feel as in his blood as it used to, or something. It feels forced. It feels like lame. I don't like it. It feels like he's just playing the hits, or he's just doing what people want him to do, or like doing an old trick. Like I don't know, like that fucking like that guru in India that makes like an egg come out of his mouth. You ever see that guy?
No.
Okay. Well, there's this guru in India that makes an egg come out of his mouth. And then like,
Okay.
and then as he got older, he would just be like, he'd go, and then he would just like take it out of his pocket and everyone would still be like, yay, you know, like he just stopped even trying to do it.
Right.
Anyways, so like there's that, but that's, you know, whatever. That's not the problem. The problem for me is just like the story doesn't really, you know, it does sort of frame her as being manipulative and like first it starts in the beginning where you feel sorry for her, and then later on it reveals that she's actually sort of like this manipulative, very damaged person, and the film ends with you know, with her killing this guy and then getting away with it, and also not only that but selling her survival story rights for a lucrative career, like a self-help career. No one's coming to save you, so you have to help yourself, and that's the whole thing. And it's like, you know, I don't necessarily need a movie to sort of tell me how to feel about characters, but I think I need the movie to know how it feels about characters. You know, like I need the movie itself to know like what it thinks of its own characters. And this one felt like it didn't really know who anyone, like it didn't. The movie itself didn't know who it was really behind. You know.
Like, you think it was trying to be sort of like female empowerment type movie, but then like trying to undercut that with making her sort of mentally ill.
Yeah, that's actually kind of the thing. It's like, you know, the idea of combining those two is interesting. The idea of combining two sort of you know, two ideas that otherwise would be in opposition to one another, and successfully combining them is an interesting idea. Like, you know, oh, there's a psychopath. There's someone who's very mentally deranged. Like let's say what's her fucking name? Kathy Bates in Misery, for example. She's 100% mentally deranged. But, you know, but she's definitely the villain, and you definitely feel for James Caan more than you do for her. But is there a moment where you empathize with her? Like, do you feel sorry for her at times? I do. Like,
No.
You don't?
Yeah. I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember really liking the movie much.
Really?
But
I thought that's a really great movie. Like, especially considering it's just like in a room for the most part. I find it to be pretty captivating. And you got Richard Farnsworth as the sheriff, the guy who blew his head off in the bathtub with his toe on the trigger of the shotgun. Shot the stuntman's death, stuntman's suicide.
Oh yeah. Straight story.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, this, I don't know. I just found this movie to be kind of confused. Also, just a lot of digital gore, digital effects. Even.
Well, that's interesting because like before the Nirvana movie, they had a trailer for the Mandalorian movie.
Okay.
You know, and it has like all the Mandalorians like fighting all these fucking crazy monsters, and then watching the Nirvana movie and seeing what they do there, I was like far more impressed with what they're getting away with in this low budget Canadian movie. Like when you're watching the Star Wars thing, you're just like, oh yeah, they just plugged in their computers and typed in scary monster, and it just popped up on the screen. Mm-hmm. But like here in the Nirvana movie, you're watching people do real things that make you just go like, how the fuck did they do that?
Yeah.
Like it's far more impressive, whereas the computer stuff is just boring.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you know that just looking at a glance at like a trailer for either of those things, that, you know, 98% of people are going to be like, well, I'm going with the Mandalorian thing, you know?
Right.
Like people do not give a fuck about you know, ingenuity. What is your fucking problem? What are you crying about? What is the problem? What's the problem? Anyways, people don't give a fuck about.
Cat hates movies.
Yeah. Hates Canadians.
He's Canadian movies.
People don't care about ingenuity or you know, coming up with an interesting solution, or even filmmaking. People don't even give a fuck about filmmaking anymore. They just give a fuck about just a bunch of IPs, you know. And
well, you get the sense with the Nirvana movie, not to just keep talking about it, but it's like, I think they were literally like, what can we do that isn't possible? Like, what can we do that is like basically against the law, and let's do it.
Right.
And I think they did it. Like, and it just like, you just has you going like, how the fuck did they, if they did this in the United States, they'd probably be dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there you go, guys. That's a resounding accolade for Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Now playing at maybe one theater in your state if you're on either coast. Okay, so today, how long have we been talking for? 21 minutes already.
21 minutes.
All right. Well, I tell you what. There's two movies that we both saw recently. One of them is called The Dentist by Brian Usna, and the other one is called Raising Cain by Brian De Palma. And I feel like talking about each of those for about 20 minutes is appropriate.
Brian versus Brian.
It's the Brian versus Brian Brazilian strap match. You know what that is?
No.
It's where you lay down on the ground with your assholes touching each other, and then you strap your thighs together, and then you wrestle like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna do.
It's hot.
So yeah, and then they try to shit in each other's asses, and whoever gets their shit inside of the other guy's ass.
I can do that.
The guy who gets all the shit into the other guy's ass, he gets to get the other guy's wife. Anywho, what do you want to talk about first? Let's talk about The Dentist first.
Okay.
So The Dentist is a movie, I don't know, what do you think? Like 1995? Is that when it came out?
Oh shit. That sounds about right.
Oh, it's 96.
Okay.
Came out in 96. It stars Corbin Montgomery. What's his name?
BERNSEN.
What's his
BERNSEN.
Corbin
from LA Law.
Corbin BERNSEN from LA Law, playing the titular dentist, Dr. Harvey Weinstein. No, Harvey. What's his name?
It's like, it's not. It's
Feinstone.
Feinstone.
Feinstone. But is it Harvey? Harvey. No, Alan Feinstone. So Alan Feinstone is a wealthy, you know, like I guess Beverly Hills dentist, and he
he's a lawyer, but the movie's called The Dentist.
He's got a very lawyerly name, let's just say. So he's a right off the bat, you know, what do we see? We see him like, you know, meticulously preparing his attire for the day, and there's cufflinks.
No, that's not how it starts.
Oh, how's it start?
Because it starts in a similar way that Carlito's Way starts.
There I was in the dentist chair. Okay, go ahead.
It starts off with he's in the mental institution, and he's like pantomiming doing his dentistry. And then he's kind of like, you know, I bet you're wondering how I got here. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you.
Right.
And then he goes into the story, and then you see him in his palatial mansion and having the hot wife. And
yeah.
But again, like I feel like I don't know if this type of beginning is working here either. Like,
but how much time do we spend on it? Like maybe like 2
not
minutes?
as much. I mean, Carlito's Way is definitely a lot more.
They make a big business out of it.
They do. This one, but it's still like a reveal that I don't think it's helping the story. Like the fact that we know he's in the mental institution, and we know how the story ends now. He's in the nut house.
Yeah. Okay, Johnny, listen.
But that bothers me.
I agree with you. I think that it doesn't hurt the movie as much as it does in Carlito's Way.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's not much to hurt in The Dentist.
Well, I mean, let's meet the movie where it meets us. It's definitely we're not comparing it to Carlito's Way. No one ever compared it to Carlito's Way. Or
Well, I mean, when I saw this beginning, I was just like, oh, this is just like Carlito's Way.
yeah.
And it's also like, they're also like, within a couple of, like a year or two of each other. So, maybe Yasna watched Carlito's Way and was like, I'm going to do that with the dentist.
I think it probably has to do with just some sort of film fashion, like some sort of thing that was in vogue at the time, you know?
Hmm.
And it was very likely due to some sort of marketing thing. Like maybe more people are watching DVDs or something, and or maybe, and uh, I don't like, it's one of those things where it's very clearly something where it's like you need to hook the audience immediately. So you need to know, like, this is about a crazy dentist. This guy's crazy.
Hmm.
So like you have to say that right from the beginning, because if you just start it with this guy in his palatial mansion putting on his pearl cufflinks or his amethyst cufflinks, then people are just going to be like, well, I don't care about this. This guy's not even crazy, you know. But now that we know that he's crazy, so it's like maybe it's just sort of like a thing to, to keep people kind of hooked, or maybe it's not even like.
But I think if I was going to do it, I would then do like maybe one of the killings, like have him, you know, one of the killings that he does, and have him sort of like, maybe some sort of narration over it, saying like, well, how did I get to this point? Well, well, let me tell you, because then you're not necessarily revealing like the ending of the movie. You're just giving people like, oh, this is coming up, coming soon. You're going to see some fucking brutal murders by this dentist.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like another way to do it. Like, what if it was just like a lot of close-ups of the movie just opens and it's like, ah, and it's just people getting their teeth drilled, and it's just like, ah, and
Hmm.
then like it's just sort of like the silhouette of this dentist coming up over it, and then it's just kind of like the dentist, and then it's like na 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 na, and it's just like a
Right.
palatial like, I mean, that's basically just cheating. There's not really any kind of like.
Even something like that would be more, uh, just something that doesn't reveal the ending of the movie.
Right.
Because you just kind of like, you want to go into a horror movie, like, you don't know, this is the bad guy put away, is he killed, is he like, the fact that we now know that he's in a mental institution makes you feel somewhat like a sense of relief, like right off the bat, like, oh, this guy's put away, so I guess everything's okay.
Yeah. Well,
Or if they
or
show him like in the mental institution, like, at the beginning, and then show him escaping at the end, that could work. But
like
the way
this.
it is now, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't.
There's sort of like, now that I think about it, there is a lot of similarities between, not in terms of the story structure, but in terms of the character, and also just in terms of the film itself,
With Carlito's Way.
with the stepfather. The stepfather.
Yeah, I
It's this,
guess a
because
little.
it's this guy who's like obsessed with sort of this idyllic vision of the world and his little slice of it,
Hmm.
and he tries to sort of maintain control, but then like when things start to slip through his fingers, that's when his mind begins to
I mean, I
break.
think that's interesting, because because I had never seen this movie before,
Oh
and
Jesus.
and and so I think that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting something more like, or even like, I mentioned Stalked by My Doctor, and that kind of has a very similar uh vibe too, where
It's
he's
in
like,
a very
he
general overall flavor sort of way. There's more in common with
see,
Stalked by My Doctor than there is with the stepfather.
right. So he's kind of like, he's moving each movie. He's like moving from town to town, like starting up a new practice
Yeah.
somewhere
Hey,
else,
you need a
and
dentist?
and then the horror begins again. And um, yeah, like I, I don't think you really get the full, uh, like the way that his killing unfolds. It wasn't really what I was hoping for.
Eh.
Like, he kind of like just like I like he just kind of almost like stumbles into it, as opposed to like, I'm the dentist.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I'm Dr. Giggles.
yeah. First of all, it's not that. Like, and because you misunderstood it to be something else, don't hold that
Isn't that
against the
interesting?
movie.
Like Dr. Giggles and the dentist, they're both from LA Law.
Right.
Two psychotic medical professionals.
There I was, Dr. Giggles, giggling away. How did I get here? Dr. Giggles is a movie that is, I just never have had a lot of respect for that movie or that character. You know, it's just like, I don't know.
Oh, come on!
I
man.
know. I keep trying to put it on and revisit it, hoping that I'll like it like a little more. But
I was hoping you were going to like take over the Dr. Giggles franchise.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
going to hand that to you.
Yeah, exactly. Rob, we're handing you the golden keys to the city, the Dr. Giggle keys.
I got 2 words for you, Dr. Giggles.
That's right. Larry Drake. Probably Larry Drake's dead at this point. The guy who plays Dr. Giggles.
Yeah, I think so.
R.I.P. Mr. Drake. Anyways, yeah. So the dentist, the first thing that we kind of notice is that like his wife's walking around the house. He's got this trophy wife. She's walking around. She's in a robe. She's kind of letting it flap open. We're seeing her beautiful milfy bod, underneath that, and we see that there's like some greasy fingerprints on her, like some sludgy fingerprints on her.
which is weird because he's like, she's out talking to the pool boy, and he's covered with like brown slime.
He's covered with the dentist feces from his.
He's like covered with feces from the pool, and she's like, and that sex scene between her and the feces covered pool boy is like really disgusting.
I love it. It's amazing, and I love that guy too. That pool boy is all.
Yeah, the Rico Suave pool boy.
He's like when he's getting head from her, he's like, ooh, like he's so funny. It's hilarious. Like, and they really play it up like this sort of,
But she's also like, she's like sucked. Like he's clearly he has excrement on his face. she's like sucking his fingers.
Yeah, exactly. That's, and the dentist watching behind, a pane glass window, he's thinking like, oh man, like look at all the dirty stuff that he's doing for her that she won't do for me. He's eating shit off of his fingers and she won't even eat the shit of my ass. And then they're laughing, and then there's this big open mouth laughing from the wife. Like you fool. I don't want. Or there's those funny voices in his head from his wife where it's like, you fool, you can't satisfy me anymore. I loathe you, or whatever. I can't remember how it goes, but. Yeah, just like that's kind of what sets him off. He goes out there with a gun and he's like, bite on her dick. Show her how nice her teeth are. Show her, you motherfucker. Like, excellent fucking
Bite
scene.
on her dick.
Yeah.
I think that's like a dream sequence, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
Like,
well, yeah,
that's not really happening. At first, when I was watching it, I thought like, oh, cool, he's really doing it.
Yeah, well, okay. Sorry. Thanks
reality.
for spoiling my story there. Yeah. Then it's, as soon as he pulls the trigger on the gun, blam, blam. And then, it's just this sort of, imagination, this sort of like, murderous fantasy that he has. So then he goes to work. Yeah. And it's not a movie about like, Dr. Giggles, Dr. Mouth Giggles. It's about a guy who's like, built a house of cards, and today's the day that the house of cards falls down,
Right. His life is basically closing in on him, and he's, his wife cheating. And then there's also a B story about his tax problems.
Well, I mean, if you want to call that a B story, there's also a B story.
Well, he's sort of like running from the tax man. This tax man keeps showing up at the office wanting free dental work for his. In lieu of tax payment.
Yeah, he wants to get his caps replaced or his crowns replaced, and he also wants to get a fucking whiff of fucking nitrous oxide. And it's played by the guy
from the Terminator 2.
Yeah, from Terminator and Terminator 2, the fucking psychologist. Little bit of Jew on Jew violence towards the end.
And Yeah, he's like Corbin Burnsen's name is like Finestone, and then the tax guy's name is like Goldstein or something.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. But anyways, there's, if you want to call that a B story, then there's also you could also say there's a B story of of the Mark Ruffalo shows up in this movie, a very young Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah. Is this his first movie?
I mean, it's gotta be up there or down there, whatever. But the thing with him and this model, and then what happens? Fucking Dr. Alan Feinstein goes and like puts his fingers in her vagina, and then starts strangling her because he's hallucinating that it's his wife, and then they go off. And then there's also that bit too with that little girl. I think that there's a great little assemblage of kind of characters that aren't just throwaway characters. Like they factor into the story like to a significant degree. That little girl ends up becoming the sort of the the de facto hero of the film, who stops the dentist.
Oh, the one with the braces.
Yeah.
Well, also the dental assistant crew,
right,
is also, he's got a strong crew of women that are sort of like trying to figure out why he's fucking up pretty bad, and they want to believe that he's doing okay, but they suffer for it.
Yeah. I mean, let's, I don't really want to, I listened to the show that we did about The Hidden, and like all we did when we talked about The Hidden was just tell the story of The Hidden. We didn't really talk about it that much. So we have to avoid that. I think what we need to try to do instead is talk about like the hits, the highlights of The Dentist, and maybe why you should watch it or why you shouldn't watch it.
Well, I mean, I can say that Corbin Bernsen is the best thing about this movie. Like, his performance
there's no doubt he holds it all together.
Is very strong. I think like if he wasn't in this, I don't think this movie would work.
No, absolutely not.
And it really makes me wonder, like, about his career. Like, he, other than LA Law and then The Dentist, like, what else is there? It seems odd to me that somebody who's that talented is not really used in anything else.
Corbin, Burns, and maybe there's something that he did that we're just not thinking of. I don't know. It looks like he just put all of his eggs into the Dentist and LA Law basket. He's not. Yeah. He's in a lot of he's in a lot of stuff that I knew he was in, but just only kind of in the background.
Right.
Hey,
I mean, he's like a leading character guy. Like he should be like the star of. He should be a big movie star.
Well,
Bruce Willis or something.
I mean, he chose his path, and his path was to be this guy,
Well, that was a long time ago.
Right.
That was before you were born.
Before I was born. No, that's not true. I was 5 at the time. But in any case, he's like what's he like? He's like maybe like a Patrick Duffy, or like just someone who just kind of was like famous on TV and then never kind of really.
Or like that guy from Mad Men, John Hamm. He's kind of like that.
Right.
But he's got I guess John Hamm has some kind of comedy chops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they're sort of similar, like very handsome men who are.
You think Corbin Bernsen is a handsome man?
Yeah, he's got like that strong jaw. Like look at that LA Law photo you just sent me. Like, he's a good looking guy.
I mean, he's an actor. Like, he's a Hollywood actor. Is he a good looking guy?
You're saying he's homely?
I'm not saying he's homely, but he looks kind of spooky to me. He looks like a.
Women like that.
He doesn't seem like a leading man to me. He seems like a villain. He seems more like a Josh Lucas than a.
Well, I think on LA Law he was sort of like the jerk, like he was like an asshole,
right?
But But I think like that to me is sort of, you know, that makes him interesting.
Okay. Well, that's that's acceptable. I can accept that you think he's a handsome guy.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's probably pretty funny too. Like you can't really do what he does in The Dentist without understanding like timing and comedy and delivery and all the things that are important to going into comedy. I bet you if you put him in to some degree, you have to admit that The Dentist is sort of like a very dark kind of gory comedy, like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the fact, I think everybody, like, you know, we're making a movie called The Dentist. I think everybody in the project must know what they're doing. Like,
Right.
they're not making fucking Schindler's List here.
So what are some of the highlights of, like, I like the part where the neighbor, oh my God, Joanne, the pool guy, he is good. You know, like that the pool neighbor who also is getting fucked by the feces covered Rico Suave, by the excrement covered pool guy.
There also was there was a point where I was kind of like, whatever he's seeing, like when he's seeing the woman and his neighbor and the pool guy like walk into the pool house together. Like I'm like, after the initial scene of him shooting his wife, like that was like just in his imagination, like that kind of made me feel like I'm not really sure if any of this is real. Like if he's seeing, like, is this real? Like he's watching his neighbor go into the pool house with the pool guy. Is this real? I don't know.
You know, you don't know until the movie's over, but then what one realizes is that initial kind of dream that he has of his wife fucking the pool guy, and then him going out there and forcing her to bite his dick and then shooting them. That's the only time that kind of happens. There are definitely hallucinations that happen later, and things where he's hallucinating one person to be another person, stuff like that. But like, as far as like a chunk of the movie being discounted as just a dream, that only happens.
Well, actually, the scene where he molests the model kind of does that.
No, because
he thinks the model is his wife, and he's having like a hallucination that
it's not like the lascivious act is not happening. It's happening. He just is imagining it as being something else.
Right.
So,
but still, like, there's something there. Like his brain is broken, so you don't. But I mean, yeah, like, so the when he's molesting the model, you know, like he's molesting the model, and you know that he's imagining that it's his wife. With the scene where he shoots his wife, you think that's going on until suddenly he snaps out of it, and he's like,
let me put it this way. I don't feel confused or sort of wrong-footed by the movie in any kind of way that I think damages it, you know? Like, I think it's all above board. But the part where he's drilling her teeth, and it's just those close-ups of him just destroying her teeth with like a bulbous bit on that dentist drill is just fantastic. It's so hard to watch for me anyhow. And the sound design, those dentist drill
funny, sounds. But it's also like her reaction is just kind of like, gee whiz.
Yeah, hey.
Why did like she just kind of is just kind of like whatever about it. I mean, I know she's been numbed and everything, but still, like he decimated her tooth, as
pulverizing
if it was just like a radish.
There was so much radish. So there's that part, which is cool. Oh God, I love the part where Dr. fucking, you know, or whatever his name is, Agent Goldberg.
The tax man.
The tax man shows up and he's like, "Give me a little whiff of the goof," and then he puts him in this sort of like medieval torture device that sort of opens his mouth up, and he cranks his mouth open which dislocates his jaw, and it's this whole prosthetic, and then he starts trying to drill his teeth, and the tax man is trying to stop him with his tongue. He's, "Get out of there!" And he's stabbing his tongue with the drill. It's just so, like, I mean, this is, you know, God bless you, Brian Usna. You know, I'm sorry that I got so drunk at your house that time. and then ran away. But you know, I really do think that he was making films for like a very specific. Well, let me put it this way. Like, I think that he has a very specific sense of humor, and he was making films that he thought were funny. And there's a few people out there that that probably will still like it, you know, and still appreciate it and still laugh. Like, I mean, I think The Dentist is a good time. You know, I think it's a
You
pretty.
should also say it's co-written by Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, of course, I guess Stuart Gordon has decided to take a little breather from the directing game and let his old pal Brian Usna, a less good director, but still, you know, better than like, you know, the vast majority of directors working today. And also, what else is what's cool about Brian Usna? Brian Usna's got a real perverted sort of sensibility. Like, he really does understand that, like, everything comes from some sort of, every horror, you know, whatever, like every horror conceit or concept, premise is the word I'm looking for. It comes from some sort of sexual dysfunction or sexual or something sex. It always has to come from sex. It has to come from that. And if you do it that way, you get something really, really, really fun and really exciting. And he understands that. Stuart Gordon understands that too. That's what makes their films similar. And that's why, like, anything they do together kind of feels like that.
Well, I was going to say too that both of those guys, during their run, like, they always would get women who were really, they would just give them their all. Like, with Barbara Crampton and Reanimator and From Beyond, and then the woman here in The Dentist, like, or in the women in Society, like, just no problems showing just like full wide open nudity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Society,
like, without any sort of redeeming value.
Surprisingly, Society doesn't have that much like nudity, in the sense that an actress doesn't have to like compromise herself to such a degree. It's all kind of just done with these special effects and stuff, you know. And maybe
That's
also
true.
some of the dialogue, but like, as far as probably like all things considered, Society is the most perverse of Brian Usna's films. But in terms of how, you know, for lack of a better term, how exploited the actresses were, I'd say it's probably the least. And by the way, the thing I was trying to think of before, I was trying to think of exhibition rights. I said I was stuck on theatrical rights, but it was the exhibition rights. Anyways, yeah, The Dentist. What else is going on with The Dentist? There's that part where he takes the girl's braces off. There's Mark Ruffalo beating him up. You know, things move along at a pretty decent clip. Is there anything that you don't like about The Dentist? Is there anything that, like, kind of, you're like, fuck, if this wasn't here, it would really help out the movie?
There's something about the way that it plays out. Like, it never like fully like grabs you, and you're just kind of like, oh, what's going to happen next? Like, how's he going to get out of this? Like, it kind of plods along at a fairly, I don't know, medium pace. Like, it didn't like fully grab me and just kind of like pull me into the story and pull me along. A lot of times, like, I felt like the people in the waiting room, like, waiting for the next gag.
Wow, you should be a writer for the Chicago Sun Tribune.
That just popped in my head.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I just grabbed them out of the ether, man. I don't know where my ideas come from. But anyways, I disagree. I think that The Dentist is probably 35% more compelling than you think it is. Although I did see it at a younger age. And for me, I do consider it kind of like a cozy classic.
Like there's some kind of like I don't know, the escalation of what happens isn't like it's not.
I know what you mean. It doesn't feel like there's like pressure building, and it's not like this sort of, like
like things are reaching to a head.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's just like, oh, here's this bit. Okay, now here's this bit, and now here's this bit, and yeah, it like any other similar horror movie with like things would be like reaching to to some sort of critical point where it's just like, okay, now we're gonna this is the final showdown between the final girl and the dentist and the.
Sure, I will say that like the part where he assaults that model, and she wakes up and he kind of manages to get away with it. Like I do remember the first time I saw this movie, like when I was an early teenager, like 14 or something, and I do remember that part being like making me nervous, and it made me nervous because I wanted him to get away with it. I was like, I hope he doesn't get caught. Oh no, fuck, she's waking up. Quick, get her fucking underwear back on, and then he manages to, just to be like, oh yeah, I don't know what happened. Her underwear fell off, and she's had a reaction to the gas.
Interesting. He does. He is framed as like you sympathize with him because he's got a fucking bitch wife. He's got a bitch
wife
who's cheating on him.
Who's eating
with the feces man.
He's eating the pool boy's feces, yeah.
And then like the tax man's after him. Like he's just under all this fucking pressure. So like
all he's trying to do is just help people's teeth,
clean people's teeth. Yeah. So you do sympathize with him. So yeah. So in that sequence, you're just kind of like, oh, he's having like some kind of like breakdown. And yeah, you want to be like, oh, he didn't really mean to molest this girl. He was having like some sort of episode. So he's not like really a creep. So you are kind of on his side. You want him to get away with it.
I don't know. He is like,
he's not like lascivious. He's very focused on dentistry.
Right. But he's also really, really into revenge too. He takes things takes things very, very personally, and he holds grudges. And when he's imagining that it's his wife that he's interacting with when she's in the dentist chair, when the model's in the dentist chair, like, he's what's going on there is pretty dark. I don't think that he's kind of it's not really coming from a sexual place. It's coming more from like a domination revenge kind of place, like it feels pretty like sadistic. I guess maybe also there's sort of, that's the thing, is maybe the movie could just be a bit more clear in sort of what's going on. Like the dentist as the sadist, like Steve Martin in Little Shop of Horrors or some shit, where it's like, it's, why did you get into this in the first place? It's because I love cleaning teeth. And then finally at the end, it's like, the reason why I'm a dentist is because I enjoy hurting people, as much as I try to deny it, this is actually the part of it that makes me get an erection while I'm,
or even like in The Stepfather, where like, like he wants a very specific type of family that behaves in a very specific way. And when it doesn't, he's got to terminate the family and move on to the next family.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have that sort of like similar delusion, but make it dentistry, I think would have like, and like have that be his clear motivation. I think that would have maybe helped here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he was actually sort of like, oh, you're still neglecting your teeth? Well, you have to be punished.
There is that. There is that fucking moment where she takes off that girl's braces, and we see kind of like him remember why he got into this game in the first place. Like that's kind of what that is about, I think. I don't know. I think that it's all the like a lot of the pieces are there. It's just missing this unbearable tension is what's missing in the dentist.
Or like, to like he escapes the police, like he gets in his car and he drives away. And where does he go? He goes to a dentistry school to
Oh, to
to
extract.
to torture all the like they're performing practice dentistry on the students at the dentistry school, and like he commands them to rip out everybody's teeth.
Yeah. Pull out everyone's teeth.
And but he's sort of like he's on the run from the cops, and this is what he's doing.
Yeah. So that's a little like, okay, you know, how seriously am I expected to take this movie at this point? Also, too, like the whole like, oh, I've made the best dentist room ever. It's like an opera house in Italy. It's just like, okay, great. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that too.
There's just a lot of
Fitzcarraldo.
Yeah.
Dentist.
There's a lot of things that are, well,
Or like when he's doing like the hand ballet, like he does it at the beginning, and then he does it when he's sort of like talking to his wife about the opera dentist room. That seems like he only does those things at those moments. It's not like indicative of his character.
Yeah,
it was strange.
Having him be.
Did you see The Dentist 2?
Yeah, of course.
Is it better or?
It's not better.
Oh,
it's the dentist.
Dentist
actually it follows kind of the or not the pattern, but like the construct, the system, the same format is what I'm saying. The format of The Stepfather, where he just posts up in a new town, and hey, I'm just a lowly.
But is he sort of like
dentist.
going off the edge? I mean, he doesn't have the whole wife problem anymore. So is he just? What's his?
Yeah, he posts up in this town and he sets up like a small practice, and then his past comes back to haunt him first, sort of psychologically. Like he starts to realize like, oh, no matter where you go in the world, like the decay of humanity is present everywhere, and like people will betray you and they'll disappoint you, and then all of a sudden you have to punish them by pulverizing their teeth with a fucking drill bit, and then spoiler, we probably will never cover The Dentist 2, but like his wife actually follows him, like chases him to so the wife is kind of it takes on this role of like a very vengeful. Like she's made her entire life into getting back at him. Thank you very much. So anyways, that's it. It's not better.
Well, that also reminds me of the other scene I liked in The Dentist is when the pool guy's cleaning the pool, and he's tossing the leaves on the side of the pool, and amongst the leaves he finds a tongue. And it's the tongue of the dentist's wife.
Right. Oh, and then she's got a hat on her head. Like,
oh yeah, she's just like sitting by the pool with a hat on her head. Like he just is like, he left her by the pool so the pool boy could find her.
Right. There's also a fantastic shot in that sequence where it's shot directly overhead, like directly like 180 degrees looking downward. And the dentist slashes him across the throat, and the blood fans across the stones next to the pool. Do you recall that shot? It's really great. It's just like that's a whole camera setup for like for like a 2-second thing. But he's marching towards him, this like really steady gait, and the guy's going retreating backwards, and he just like slashes him across the neck. It's like that's like catching smoke or something.
It was almost like too good. Like it was like a Hitchcock type shot.
It's a lot. It's a lot like the scene the shot in Psycho, where right before the guy goes down the stairs, like that top down shot.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Arbogast.
Right. But anywho, that's it. We've already talked for an hour, I guess. Like, I mean, maybe we just save Raising Cain for another day.
It's up to you.
Well, I mean, like we've talked for an hour. What are we going to do? Talk for another 20 minutes about Raising Cain? Let's just save it for the next time. That every time that we can like push him, we can punt a movie down the line. It means that we don't have to like worry about like, what we're going to do. And
All right.
coming up, let's do a thing like this. Coming up on Public Figures Podcast, we're going to talk about Raising Cain. And we're also going to talk about, I guess, Eyes Wide Shut, because Johnny, I guess, has something to say about Eyes Wide Shut. Is that right?
Do I?
Well, I mean, you said that you liked it more than you did the last time you saw it.
Well, I think I appreciate it a lot more. I mean, I saw it when it came out, but I rewatched it recently, and I think I have a greater appreciation for it.
Well, great. That sounds like a lot to talk about. I like Eyes Wide Shut. I've always liked Eyes Wide Shut. I liked it the first time I saw it. I rewatched it maybe about like 3 months ago, and I liked it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say pretty much equally. And I liked it more because I liked that character who's that I don't know the name of you probably remember the name of the character, or maybe the actor, the guy who is at the pool table with Tom Cruise and who's like
Sidney Pollack.
Right, Sidney Pollack. Is it Sidney Pollack?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I think so.
Anyways, that guy and his sort of very, very like well written and well acted speeches of that kind of, where he tells Tom Cruise to kind of just like chill out and don't get involved in this because you're dealing with people who are so powerful that you're literally like a bacteria to them and stuff. But the way that he says it isn't like, it's the way that someone would say that in real life. It's the way that a real person, you sort of look at all this fucking Epstein shit coming out and you see how these people speak to each other. They're just like normal people. The only difference is that they happen to be like, more powerful than one can imagine,
That's something that crossed my mind, because I was thinking, like, what if this guy was like somebody who was more sinister, somebody who was creepier, but then that would sort of undermine the normalcy of what's going on. Like, this is just a regular guy, and he and his buddies, they like to do this on the weekends.
Right. It would undermine the truth that these in fact are normal people who watch the same movies as you do, who listen to the same music that you do, like they're just, right. The only difference is that they whatever they want to do, they can do it. And that's the difference between you and them, is that there are limits to what you can do, but there's no limits to what they can do if they want to do it. And there's also an inverse correlation to the amount of consequences that they face. Another movie that I'd like to talk about if we get time, probably maybe only for like 20 minutes or so, is King of New York, which I had never seen. I thought I had seen it, but I was confusing it with New Jack City because they both have Wesley Snipes in them. And
right.
So
I don't think I've ever seen New Jack City.
Well, maybe one time we'll do King of New York and New Jack City together. But
I've seen King of New York. It's interesting how literally like everyone in that movie went on to be in Pulp Fiction. Like, he just like Quentin Tarantino just grabbed everybody in that movie and just put him in Pulp Fiction.
Right. I didn't even consider that. But the funny thing about King of New York is that like I don't even really understand the story. Like, the story doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. It's just about Christopher Walken getting out of jail and just being the coolest dude around, and just being the coolest guy, and him just doing cool stuff. And it's just scene after scene of him just saying and doing cool stuff. And that's it. That's the entire movie. And I watched it twice actually to be like, okay, let me pay attention to the story. And couldn't really, there is sort of a story, but it's not nothing more than just kind of, there's a new guy out of jail, and he wants his cut. If a fucking nickel bag is sold in the park, I want in. And then he just goes about makes the moves necessary in order to make that happen. And then there's also sort of like these scenes too that kind of remind the audience that you're supposed to be on his side. So like, he'll go and meet with like a city councilman and be like, you have to keep these hospitals open because underprivileged areas need them too, not just these upper class areas. And he's like, look, if you can find some money in the budget, be my guest. You know, it's like greasy fucking politicians. And Christopher Walken's out there for the people. Also, the
Right.
fact too that like he kind of his gang is the majority of them are just kind of like, you know, like street level blacks and Puerto Ricans. So he's just kind of this white guy who just has this like rapport with thuggish black people and Puerto Ricans. And meanwhile, they're going up against the Italian mafia and this Chinese gang too that sits in a theater at fucking in the middle of the afternoon and watches Nosferatu, which is a scene that I find to be fascinating because it's almost like they're like Abel Ferreira like views Chinese people as some kind of weird like human like monster, like
movie nerds.
No, not movie nerds, but as vampires themselves. Like in a dark room in the middle of the day, smoky room, watching vampire movies, and like the way like the pale faced kind of, you know, goth kind of wardrobe, you know, all in black. Like he's like, yeah, you know, Chinese people, I've always thought about them as vampires. I always consider them to be kind of vampiric, you know, like it's just that's what it came off. That's fuck. You know, I told you that I met that guy in Switzerland that time.
Yeah.
I should have asked him about that. I should have been like, do you think that Chinese people are vampires? Like, is that kind of what you were saying in King of New York? You'd be like, get the fuck buzz off, will you? But anyways, let's call it. I'm gonna stop the recording now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.